How's it going, everyone? Saintsfan back again with another gun running DLC video, and today we actually have a ton of new information about that upcoming update. What we now know is the number of new vehicles, the number of weapons that will have new upgrades, the number of new missions, and the release date. So if you guys have been anticipating this gun running update, then this video is definitely for you. So this is actually coming from Yan again on the GTA forums. Unfortunately, he sort of put this into some sort of little game. So here is the post, and you can see he put 4 numbers, and then he put 4 things at the bottom that I just talked about, and the numbers correlate somewhat with those 4 things at the bottom, but it's not in order. He says, since I'm not going to really give information and you guys seem very impatient, I've got a little game for you. Some people will hate me for that, but it's that or nothing. You have to match the numbers of the first list with the sentences of the second list. And of course, I didn't put them in order. But I think this is pretty easy. I mean, at least in my mind. So let's just go ahead and go through the numbers and go through the sentences. So 6, 8, 13, and 17. And then we have the number of new vehicles, the number of weapons that will have new upgrades, the number of new missions, and the release date. So I actually think it's a lot easier than what some people are sort of speculating. I think it's just in reverse order. Like in my mind, the order that makes the most sense is 6 goes with the release date, 8 goes with the number of new missions, 13 goes with the number of weapons that will have new upgrades, and then 17 is the number of new vehicles. Now, you guys, as always, can let me know in the comments, sort of what you think the order goes in, but I'll explain why I believe my order is the most likely. So 6. Well, let's just start with the release date. Out of those numbers, there's only 3 that are possible release dates. 17 is not going to be a release date because that's on a Saturday. The 13th could be a release date, but that's a Tuesday, and that's the Tuesday that E3 starts. I really don't think they're going to release it on the 13th, only because they would have to compete with so many other games and so much hype from other stuff that it would kind of drown out GTA, and I don't know if they really want to do that, especially with an update this big. 8 is definitely possible. That's a Thursday. They normally don't release DLCs on Thursday, but it is possible. But 6th is definitely the one I think it's going to release on, only because that is next Tuesday, and that's the one that many people thought, like, that was the one rumor, or that was the one date everyone sort of believed it was going to come out on, a few months ago. So I think 6th is the most likely date, or number for the release date. Next one, the number of new missions. I don't think 13 or 17 is that number, and the reason I don't think it's a super high number is because missions don't really make Rockstar money. They don't sell shark cards. It's fun. Missions are awesome to keep people playing, but they don't sell shark cards. So I don't see them making a ton of missions because it doesn't make them a ton of money. But 8, I feel like, is a good amount because I believe that's the exact amount we had for the import-export special, vehicle missions. So if they were to somewhat do that same thing again, but for the new cars that are coming in this update, in this gun running update, then 8, I think, is the perfect amount. Now, the 2 that I think could be interchangeable, but number of new vehicles and the number of weapons that will have new upgrades. We'll start with the weapons. I believe the weapons are going to be 13, just because, again, weapons don't really sell that much. Like, they're really inexpensive for the most part, unless there's some super crazy attachments that they added. But weapons don't sell shark cards. Cars ultimately sell shark cards. So 13, I feel like, is a reasonable number for the weapons. And you got to keep in mind, these aren't new weapons. It's just weapons that will have new upgrades. Like we saw in that one picture, the AK looked a little bit different. It had some new upgrades on it. That's, I feel like, what's going to happen. And I think 13 is enough. There's so many weapons in the game, and I feel like they probably picked, 1 or 2 from a class, 1 or 2 assault rifles, 1 or 2 pistols, 1 or 2 shotguns, 1 or 2 sniper rifles, etc. And I think that's sort of what's going to end up happening. So that's why I think 13 is the number of weapons that will have new upgrades. Although, again, it could be interchangeable because 17 is just, there's a ton of weapons. So 17 is a possible number for that. But 17, I believe, is the number of new vehicles. And I'll tell you why. Apart from shark cards, people like new vehicles. And if what they've done in the past, if what Rockstar has done in the past is any indication, they are totally going to drip feed these vehicles. And 17 leaves them with a perfect amount to drip feed. They could release, let's just say, 5 to 10 on the release date, and maybe some of them will be like special vehicles in that you have to complete the missions if you want to get a little discount. But I'm going to go ahead and say that around 6 to 7 of these will be drip fed, whether it's 2 per week or 1 per week. They are going to extend this DLC for as long as possible. So that's why I feel like 17 just makes the most sense for number of new vehicles. Again, you guys can let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think my little prediction here or theory is reasonable, or do you think I'm just crazy and out of my mind? One thing I will say, that is a little suspicious here, and I don't want to discredit Yan because obviously, he has provided a bunch of information in the past. He obviously knows someone at Rockstar, and I don't believe he is making any of this stuff up. I don't think he's trolling the community, because if he did that, think about it. If you were him and you did that, no one would believe you. No one would care what you would have to say if you did that. So I don't think he is trolling or anything, but it is kind of odd, and it is kind of suspicious here that the 2 release dates that many people believe, the 6th and the 13th, are in this list. So that's a little, I don't know, a little suspicious, little shady perhaps, but it's definitely interesting to say the least. I think this is going to be an amazing DLC, man. If all this stuff is true, if, like I said, my order is correct, I mean, I think that's the most reasonable. Some people were saying that the DLC was going to come out on the 13th, and then 17 would be the number of weapons, 8 would be the number of new vehicles, and then 6 would be the number of new missions. But again, I really do feel like they're going to focus on vehicles more than anything else, because vehicles sell shark cards. Vehicles, they could make freaking $5 million like they did with the Runo 2000, and people will buy them. I really do think that APC tank might be the most expensive vehicle in the game. They got away with the damn Runo 2000 being $5.4 million. So the APC tank that can shoot down freaking hydras, come on, that's gonna be $5-6 million, I feel. And then who knows what all the other customization, how much that's gonna add up to. For the Tampa, that's not one car that you buy. It's a car that you sort of, or what it looks like is a car that you upgrade, and you can put different guns on it, or different rockets, or different maybe armor or something. So who knows how much that's gonna add up. But this is definitely interesting information from Yan. If the 6th is the release date, hopefully we get some more information before it does drop. I mean, maybe they're just going to do like they did in the past with some of the DLCs, where it's a major DLC, but they don't release the trailer until after it comes out. That's probably, unfortunately, what's going to happen. But, hey, the 6th is a few days away, so at least it's not the end of June. So that's a good thing, I believe. Thank you all for watching, though. That is it with the video. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more awesome GTA content. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.